This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter down and welcoming you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And this birthday boy is still playing in the NBA. I thought he was done, but he's 37 today. He was a trailblazer for the New York Knicks, and basically after leaving the Knicks, he hasn't done too badly for himself. This is him, Carmelo Anthony. He's still playing for Portland in the NBA. He's a 10-time All-Star and an All-NBA 6 times. He actually won the national championship as a freshman in 2003, being named the most outstanding player. He decided to enter the draft after just one season at Syracuse, kind of dumb, but was selected third by the Denver Nuggets. He helped the Nuggets every year from 2004 to 2010 make the playoffs, winning 2 division titles. In fact, he was traded from Denver to the Knicks during the trade deadline in 2011, and Melo was one of the best scorers ever. One game in 2014, he scored 62 points, which is a Knicks single game record and a Madison Square Garden record. Anthony was then later traded to Oklahoma City, playing 1 year there before he went to Houston, and now he's with Portland. He is actually the U.S. Olympic team's all-time leader in points, rebounds, and games played, mostly because he's played in the last 4 Olympics. For the last 4 Olympic teams. So Melo seemed pretty well. So he went to Syracuse. Oh, that. Melo had troubles dealing with his academics and thought he couldn't go to the Syracuse. But yeah, he went to Syracuse for 1 year. He wasn't that good averaging points. Well, it is a little bit of a crapshoot. I mean, there's 100 teams plus. So he did pretty well. He helped Syracuse get to the 2003 NCAA title game against Kansas, and he was the one with the massive play. Kansas had a chance to shoot the 3 ball to tie the game, but Anthony made a nice block and all that. So basically, he was named most outstanding player and all that. He originally wanted to play at Syracuse for 2 to 3 seasons. But because he accomplished everything he set out to do, especially when the NCAA title, he decided to abandon his college career, although it was with his coach Jim Boeheim's blessing, and made himself eligible for the 2003 NBA draft. He was second-team All-American by the Associated Press as a freshman and helping the school win its first ever NCAA title. I thought they won another title, but I guess not, because Syracuse was known for choking at the worst time. They lost the 87 and 96 finals, as far as I know. So anyway, he was drafted 3rd overall by the Nuggets. Everyone knew that LeBron James would be the 1st overall pick, but Detroit shocked everyone by going with Darko Milicic because they needed someone like a tall power forward. Melo would then slide to Denver, and it was a good move. In fact, he was the second youngest player in NBA history to score 30 or more points in a game at that time. I think the record's been broken. No, actually, it can't be broken because of the college rule. So anyway, Melo was a good rookie and all that. He was second in Rookie of the Year voting, behind, LeBron. However, Anthony was more memorable for the turnaround of the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets were 17 and 65 the season before, but they ended up winning 43 games in 2004, making them 8th seed in the playoffs. It was amazing, all that. Although his first playoffs ended up in a 5-game loss, all that. Bet you Detroit. The problem is Detroit probably ruined the day they chose Milicic over Melo. I mean, in the short run, it worked. I mean, Milicic did help Detroit win the 2004 NBA title, but in the long run, Detroit just faltered. Denver got 49 wins in the Anthony's second season. It was amazing, all that. Denver did not have good stuff in the playoffs and all that. Seeing that Denver was doomed, Melo was doomed to play for a team that got to the first round of the playoffs, but would never win. So yeah, it was terrible and all that. However, in 2009, the Nuggets ended up winning the division and would end up being second place in the Western Conference with 54 wins. The Nuggets took care of the New Orleans Hornets in the first round, which was great. And then they proceeded to beat Dallas in the conference semis, giving Denver a chance to go to the NBA Finals if they could sink the LA Lakers. But Denver, despite the fact that it's their first Western Final since 1985, could not do the job. The Lakers did take 6 games to eliminate Denver. So anyway, yeah. So Anthony Carmelo was doing pretty well for himself. But there was speculation that Carmelo wanted a trade out of Denver, and he didn't sign a proposed contract extension. There were rumors that the Knicks, the Nets, the Rockets, and the Hawks were interested for his services. So Carmelo, alongside Chauncey Billups, was traded from Denver to the New York Knicks in a multiplayer deal that had a third team, Minnesota. But anyway, Anthony chose to wear number 7 because his number 15 could not be worn as a Knick because it was retired because of Earl Monroe. So anyway, he helped the Knicks do decently and all that. Carmelo had a lot of injuries. The injury actually led to Jeremy Lin having Linsanity and all that. But basically, the Knicks had injury problems, even though there were 7th in the East. I mean, Iman Shumpert tore his ACL. Tyson Chandler had the flu. Baron Davis tore his patella tendon. Amari Stoudemire had a hand laceration. Jeremy Lin tore his left meniscus. Man, the Knicks were just terrible. So anyway, you would try to help the Knicks out. In the 2013 playoffs, the Knicks took care of the Celtics in the first round, which was their first playoff series win in 13 years. The Knicks were defeated by the Pacers in 6 games in the second round. Melo had issues of the yin-yang. But he did resign with the Knicks in 2014 for 5 years. So that's pretty good. Melo would do fine and all that. In 2017, he actually became the 3rd player to score 10,000 points for 2 franchises, joining Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who did it with Milwaukee and the Lakers, and Alvin Hayes, who did it with the Rockets and the Bullets. Did pretty good. Unfortunately, conflicts with Phil Jackson, who was president of the Knicks, led to Anthony demanding a trade. He was willing to waive his no-trade clause for the Rockets, but he expanded his teams later on. And one of those teams, Oklahoma City, got him just before the 2017 season in exchange for Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, and a second-round pick. The team only won 1 playoff series in Anthony's 7 years with the Knicks. And the funny thing about that is that Melo with the Nuggets won 2 playoff series. So anyway, Carmelo seemed to be decent with the Oklahoma City Thunder. But then the Thunder decided to trade him to Atlanta in a 3-team trade to get Dennis Schroeder from the Hawks. It was a cost-cutting move because the Thunder had to pay luxury tax payments if they didn't have for next season with Anthony. Anthony got a buyout from the Hawks and was put on waivers. Houston, a couple weeks later, decided to get him. But unfortunately, he didn't make matters right. And by January, he was gone again. He was traded to Chicago. And Houston did not have to deal with luxury tax penalties. The Bulls then waived them. And then during the early part of the 2019 season, Portland decided to sign him to a 1-year non-guaranteed contract. But by December 6th, his contract was guaranteed. So basically, he was helping Portland out. And that was good and all that. So he did pretty well for himself. He's now 10th on the all-time scoring list, just passing Alvin Hayes this year. And of course, Anthony would be most famous for playing in 4 straight Olympic Games with the U.S. squad, which was amazing. So I believe they're out of the playoffs. Yeah, the Trailblazers didn't make the 2021 playoffs, which sucks. But anyway, he's played in 1,191 games in his career, 23 points a game, 6.3 rebounds. That's pretty good. I know his averages have actually dipped a bit, but you know what? He's still playing. In the playoffs, 77 career games, 23.9 points a game. That's good. And only had one season in Syracuse. Anthony has a son, Kyan, who was born in 2007, so he's 14 years old. Wow. Carmelo was married to Lala Vasquez. All that. Lala, I don't know what she was for. I think she was an MTV VJ, I guess. So anyway, one of the worst things Carmelo did was marijuana possession and all that. Anyway, yeah, he was involved in a brawl between the Knicks and the Nuggets, getting 15 games suspension for that. He's got some charity efforts and all that. In fact, Carmelo is the only player to appear on the cover of all 3 EA Sports franchises: March Madness, NBA Live, and NBA Street. Did I know that? I knew he did the 2005 one. Carmelo did pretty well. All that. So yeah, Melo is a decent player and all that. He's on the last legs of his career, but he's top 10 in NBA scoring, so cut him some slack. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.